Remarkable Results Radio Podcast Network Town Hall Live. Ooh, how exciting. We've had such great subjects for the last 8 or 9, 10 weeks. And Jody and Dave have been on the shows before. Great contributors. And Dave, we just love your cat, by the way. I just want to tell you.
There's one back there.
It's just fabulous, fabulous.
One of 5.
And today we're going to talk about car care clinics for women and why do them and what's the benefit to the service professional. And I'd like to welcome Jody DeVere, who works, ask Patty, with the automotive retail locations to become certified female friendly. What better person to have on the show? They talk about learning how to create a culture and experience that attracts and retains loyal woman customers. Wow. I didn't pay you enough to be on this show, Jody. I just didn't. The AskPatty.com certified female-friendly program includes marketing, advertising programs, and it really does resonate with women. Just ask the 3,800 certified female-friendly shops that are out there. She's a social media marketing to woman expert. She's an automotive journalist, car care safety spokesperson who has worked with many major automotive brands. The AskPatty.com automotive advice for women website and blog and articles content's been featured by the New York Times, Forbes, Wall Street Journal, CNN, and Women's Day. Glad to have you, Jody.
Wow. Thank you, Carm.
Yeah, what a great bio. I love that. Someday I'll have a bio that long. Okay, Leanne Best, staying with the woman. Leanne Best, she's been the marketing director and customer service expert at Mighty Auto Pro for the last 11 years. She's been on the show before because she is also the co-founder of Brakes for Breasts and serves on the advisory board for Ratchet and Wrench magazine and the AAA approved Auto Repair Advisory Council. Now, what's so cool about Leanne, her first ladies event was Woman, Wheels, and Wine back in 2008. I would have gone just for the wine. That's it. Her most recent event, and I also love this, Woman, Wheels, and Waffles, had an attendance of 109 women. Leanne has also been assisting the Women's Board of the Car Care Council with developing a kit for shop owners to host their own events with several different levels of participation. And we have a secret later, don't we, Leanne?
We do.
To share with everyone.
And it's exciting.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to tease our loyal listeners to hang in there to get the great secret coming up. And Dave, glad to have you, Dave Kusa.
Thanks, Carm.
President of ASCCA out in California. Great to have you, Dave. You've always been a terrific contributor. He established Auto Trend Diagnostics in 1989 in Campbell, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area. Dave's a AAA-approved auto repair facility that provides general maintenance services for all foreign and domestic vehicles. Dave works hard building customer relations and hometown value in a city of 2.5 million people. Dave was with me in episode 127 and on the Town Hall Live concierge service. And that was just last week, wasn't it, Dave?
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a couple weeks ago. You're just doing a double duty.
I'm a regular.
Yeah, you are. You absolutely are. You're probably going to want a dressing room soon. And I got to figure that out. So look I've got so much information here in front of me. Tons of articles that Jody has written. I've read all your stuff on catering to the woman. Jody, thank you so much for really keeping the message in our industry alive and getting the press that you're getting. And Leanne, all the stuff that you're doing to attract women and help them learn and understand. And so here was my challenge in trying to put this episode together. And none of my guests know what I'm about to say next. I was thinking of doing a who, why, what, how, and when about women's clinics. And I think that you really almost need to start with the why. Why is basic car care and maintenance education so important to women?
I think it's important. It's important to everybody, but I think that women in general, because it's such a male-dominated industry, and many men don't get yet that it's a, women are making 80% of the buying decisions, right? I don't care who you're talking to, whether you're talking to the male in the house, the female in the house. Ultimately, the woman is making 80% of those buying decisions. So we have to make sure that there's not a intimidation factor involved in that. Did a lot of reading and talking with other people on this, and women want safe, reliable vehicles that get from point A to point B without trouble. And if we understand that and can incorporate that into our businesses, then I think that will help keep our businesses moving in that 80% direction.
Got it. Leanne, why?
Oh, I couldn't agree with Dave more. He made a lot of very valid points. And I think, from our perspective, we like to educate the women. It gives them their trust in our auto repair shop, that we're willing to take the time to educate them about what they should be looking for. So from our perspective, it's a trust issue, building that trust with the women. And then also, of course, the very basics of just being safe on the road, the things that they just don't realize, changing a tire, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I can't wait to get into some of the hows that, you've done, the what's in the hows of how you've pulled off your clinics. Jody, why do we need to do this?
My response is a little bit more data-driven, because we actually field questions from women on the Ask Patty website. And so we study these questions, and overall, consistently, and we're coming up on our 11th year, 80% or more are basic questions about car maintenance. It's not like they're asking us about transmission work or engine work. They're asking us questions like, what kind of oil does my car need? Things like that. So I know that women still, and consumers in general, are behind the 8 ball in terms of what they really understand are the basics that their cars need to keep them running. And so given the opportunity to learn in an environment that they enjoy, I think they want to feel empowered.
And what percentage of women are making the automotive buying decisions today?
In car buying, 85%. In the service lane, NADA statistics are 73% of service lane customers are women today, but at least 50,
Dave, do you see that?
I see I don't think I see that high of a women bringing 80% of the people at my counter are 80%, but it's probably 50-50. But with that being said, the research tells us that no matter who we are discussing the needs for the vehicle repairs and maintenance with on the telephone or an email or whatever at the counter, ultimately, the woman in the household is generally making that decision 80% of the time. So it's just the way it is, which is, I think, a good thing.
So we want to hold a women's clinic, and I just happened to bump into a few people in the last week that said, "Yeah, we've got to do this. How can I get it done?" And there are options out there, and I know, Leanne, you're going to give us a big announcement in a little bit. But what I've read about what you've done are some incredible hows, because there's a lot of people, service professionals out there, don't know how to make that first step. And what I've heard from some people is write a few bullet points down, make a flyer, put it out, share it with your customers, bring them in, and all of a sudden, it just seems to happen. Now, I don't know when you've ever started your first one, and it looks like you do a real formal, Leanne, but tell us about your first one. How hard was it to do?
Well, Carm, the first one, it really started as basically as you're suggesting. We talked about what we wanted the format to look like. And we've always we didn't want it to be a formal format, we wanted it to be casual and wandering and set the hours from 10. We knew we wanted a 2-hour window, so we'd set the time. But that was our first one, was Women, Wheels, and Wine. And so we did it from 6 to 8 p.m. We didn't want the women to have time, to go home and think about it. You wanted them to come straight from work. So we thought about that. Okay, have the time frame set. And then how are we going to structure this? Well, we have a 17-bay facility, so we have a lot of room. So we decided education stations, rather than having a formal, group, everybody sitting in kind of a school format. We just wanted them to wander. And so we don't really have a lot of chairs or that. And we have some, but the idea is not to have them sitting the whole time. So each of our technicians is featured in an education station. So 4 of them, typically, because you're only doing 2 hours, so the ladies don't have a lot of time. Very hands-on. And so the ladies could go visit what education station appealed to them the most. Did they want to see about computers in their car and how computers interact with their vehicle, or maybe the basic things such as checking your fluid levels, oil changes, changing a tire, things of that nature. So the ladies could come and go throughout the 2 hours, so you didn't have to be there at exact starting point and an exact ending point. So we had all that down pat. That came fairly simple. And then the part was the marketing pieces. Mm-hmm. And a little bit ahead of the groove, because I have done marketing for Mighty Auto Pro for so long. I just use all of our typical venues that I would use to bring in new clients or touch our existing clients, and I just change those venues over to getting people in for women, or getting women in for Women, Wheels, and Wine. So, whatever event, direct mail, Facebook, emails, Eventbrite invitations, things that I would typically use. And that's where it started. And then it started growing from there year after year.
Excellent. Some great how-tos. Thank you for that. Jody, you've been involved in these. With what Leanne just said, can you add anything else to it?
Yeah, I think there's different kinds of car care clinics. You can have these masses of events. One that I love to talk about that we ran 3 years in a row was called Chicks, Cars, and Cupcakes. And it was actually held at a local mall. And we were in the kind of the center area in plain sight. And we brought in speakers to talk about tires, basic maintenance, even car insurance, and different things to do. And in between, we worked with them all. We had a little fashion show. And so we'd have a few fashions, then we'd have car care talk, and then it all, Leanne, happened in October. So we were a fundraiser for the National Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And we had a cupcake war. We had several cupcake companies provide cupcakes, and they voted. We had goodie bags. We had vendor areas like Yokohama Tire was there. Various different automotive vendors, like she said, were tables. And we had over 300 usually at that event.
Wow.
And it was really fun.
I like
really
your
fun.
whole concept of tying in additional vendors. And, Leanne, Dave, in the community, is it possible that you would have invited a friend who does insurance, a detail shop, unless you guys already do that? Does that sound like it's getting too big and too out there, or is that are those the kinds of ancillary community connections that work?
I've never seen it or done it that way, but building it into not only an educational, vehicle educational, but also a networking event. Yeah, that never occurred to me, but that would be a logical next step for some of these. Yeah.
I'm the idea guy, you see.
Yeah.
All Jody had to do was just say this, and man, my wheels are turning.
Well,
right.
I think the component, sorry, Leanne.
No, go ahead.
The component that I think you guys are missing that women need to have to be a successful car care clinic, because that's actually pretty boring, is you need to make it fun and entertaining and reward them for their time. and I have a whole list of things to do, but I'm not going to take up time. But those components get them there and get that word of mouth and grow from year to year or month to month, however frequently you're doing it.
I love it. How can we get how can we get that list?
Come to Ask Patty. Talk to me.
All right. AskPatty.com. Leanne, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. And one of the things we feature at our events is we normally have a local massage therapist doing chair massages or neck massages. We have our AAA people. We have a restaurant who's providing food. So we work in, we weave in local vendors, because I agree completely with Jody. You have to show them a good time and truly have some fun. And the best part is when, they love to bring their girlfriends. So that's the perfect pairing.
So it's an event. We're going to learn about cars, and then they leave and they say that car thing was way down the list. I had so much fun.
No. Usually they say, "Wow, I did not know that. I didn't know what to expect if they're first time, and I learned so much, and it was so interesting. I feel great." They actually they want you to present in a way that is fun and entertaining, but they really secretly know they don't know. And they feel empowered, and that makes them feel good.
Got it. Well,
I get great feedback.
Just good stuff, off the charts. Thank you so much. These town halls have always exceeded my expectations once we got into them and we started to really rock. I want to go back to another why question. What's the short-term and the long-term value for the service professional that puts these on?
Well, just the value to the community, being community involvement is always a positive. The growth of your customer base, ideally, right? But more importantly, building that trust factor, building those relationships, that you can't buy that kind of marketing or advertising. That's just, you have to do it. And that ultimately is the benefit to the shop. And I think to our clients, our female and women clients, is they have a comfortable trust feeling of the shop that they work with. And again, right, you can't buy that. You have to earn it.
Leanne, you had this great stat. Our most recent event had 32% new clients or 33 potential new clients. Wow. There's a good why.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, initially when we started doing this, it was in our new client acquisition list of things to do. I mean, that was the primary focus when we started out doing this. And we put a big focus on all of our marketing about bring your friend, your daughter, your coworker. It's an educational event. So when they come to the shop, they have to register. Generally, we do that through Eventbrite because it's a free service, which works really well. Okay. And so when they register, they have to check a box that says, I'm either a Mighty Auto Pro, valued customer, or a first-time visitor. So we prepare the name tags, and let's say if you're a Mighty Auto Pro valued customer, you're going to get a blue name tag that says Mighty Auto Pro valued customer with your name on it. And if you're a visitor, you're in red. So it really promotes the ladies speaking to one another, because there's nothing a woman wants more than to know that this is a trusted car repair facility. So you're bringing in a lot of new clients. I mean, your hope is that every woman's going to bring somebody new with her. And because of the fact that you're already building that trust factor with all of these women in the room, they look around and they see all these women and think, well, wow, it must be a trusted facility.
That's such a great idea to prepare your internal team with that colored tag, because they could reach out by saying, hey, welcome to our shop for the first time. And that really does break the ice. Obviously, it's not hard to figure out what the control tag was about, but that does bring a lot of intimacy to the group.
Certainly.
Great idea. Any other really great whys that I think we've covered it. I mean, it's a revenue opportunity, it's a community opportunity, it's a trust opportunity. Jody,
it's a branding opportunity.
Yeah, and
because you're positioning yourself with customers one, is female friendly by doing it. That's sending a very strong message to women. They're welcome. We want you here. But more important, you're positioning yourself as a partner in car repair, an educator versus just come in, I'm going to sell you something blind. I'm going to make you as smart as I can make you so we make good decisions together on your maintenance and repair.
Well, and
Go ahead, please.
Carm, I kind of have a surprise why that happened to us. And we weren't expecting it, but one of the nice things is we do the education stations, and each education station features a technician. And if you think about it, our technicians just never get the acknowledgement or the gratitude that they deserve for all of the effort, education, and tools that they bring to the table. And initially, they were all like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be on front and center stage. I don't want to do this. After the first time, and they realized when we coach them, it's just like if it was your mom or your sister asking you a question, these guys are like superstars at these events now. It's their time to shine, and it's great that we can shine that spotlight on them for that event.
How often?
Annually.
Okay, so this is an annual event for you. Would you ever go more than that?
I think annual has served us very well, and with the actual marketing that I do year round gives me a lot of time to put it in a lot of different places. I'd rather have one super amped up event than two smaller ones, because I just think the energy in the room is great.
I've heard a lot about the 20-woman clinic. They're small, they're nice. There's more hands-on. Jody, what do you think of that type of size of an event?
I think it depends on the community that the shop is in. Sometimes you don't have a community where you can pool 100 or 200 or 300 attendees. And also the time constraints and the staffing that you have in your shop. You know, Leanne, you have 17 bays. You have a big staff to manage that.
Sure.
A lot of my clients do a monthly ladies' day. They provide education, free manicures. They do it, you know, one day a month. And then women expect to have that every month. And so they look forward to whatever they're doing on that ladies' day. Maybe they're going to focus around learning about brakes, or they're going to focus on learn about change your fluids or tires. So I think there's different ways to do it that suit the shop's time, money, resources, and the community they serve. Every community has like a different personality and culture. You know, in an outlying place in Arkansas, it's a much more, maybe more casual environment than in a big city environment like Los Angeles.
And Leanne, you're Cleveland area, right?
We're actually in Medina, Ohio. It's a suburb of Cleveland. It's probably, I think we have about 30,000 households.
Okay.
So it's not a huge area, but I mean, we have a big enough pool to draw from.
Got it. I understand. Dave, how big have your events been?
Well, so annually is probably good. Small shop, right? You know, it's just me, service advisor, and 2 techs. So you want to, for me, would keep it small, right? You know, the 15, 20 attendee, so that we would do a basic intro to your maintenance, right? You know, so I like Jody's idea of maybe a series of events where if you did it more often. And today, like she said, today's about fluids. Next month's about brakes. I think that would be a good way to do it as well, if there was an interest in that type of educational opportunities for our women clients. But yeah, I think here's how the fluids, here's the tires, check the battery. Those kinds of things are the starting point.
Wow, you could offer them a coupon or some incentive to come. You know, Women Wednesdays, we do a lot of those. You know, if you come in, you're going to learn about brakes, you'll get a manicure, and you'll get a % off on any maintenance and repair or whatever. You know, listen, we women pride ourselves. We brag about the money we save on coupons and loyalty programs. So, and when we leave, we go, woo, I just saved 10% of my auto repair. And we bragged all our friends. So, you need to kind of blend that together with these opportunities. And by the way, women are very powerful word of mouth. During the event, they'll probably be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, telling all their friends. And so if you get her excited and into it, she's going to be your best referral source to get women to that special day or special event.
Great point. Women are social and they love to brag. Talk about building a brand, Jody. I mean, that's what you're talking about. The guerrilla marketing, word of mouth soldiers out there. One of the things that I thought about, Dave, when you said the monthly, and Jody, help me understand this. A month goes by so fast than to think that I could, come again to another event. And I'm not sure once a year is enough, but I'm not sure monthly is good either.
For me, monthly would be way too often.
Yeah. And
2, 3 or 4 times a year, if we set it up as a series of events, would make a lot of sense.
And again, it goes back to what Leanne said. Leanne, and correct me if I'm wrong, you do an awful lot of stuff at your place. Bill Hill, who you got to go back and listen to Bill Hill's episode, is one of my favorites, and it was from in the early days, 2015. He helped get me started, good old Bill, and they do so many creative things at Mighty Auto Care, and so I can imagine what your marketing calendar looks like.
Oh, right, absolutely. Because above and beyond doing the Women Wheels and Waffles, we're also doing the events for the Boy Scouts or the events for the Girl Scouts. There have been a couple times where Bill and I have gone and presented to children that are aging out of foster care and what they need to know about looking for a car and so on and so forth. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that we do in our community. So one event a month is kind of enough for us.
Okay, I get it. So let's make this great assumption and just bear with me so we can move the show forward. We're going to do a car care clinic yearly to start. And if it goes great, we may do 2. How do we get started?
Well, the easiest way to start is with your current database, honestly. I would think that any shop that's listening is probably the type of shop that has already got an email group list together, or they have a database that they're going to do a direct mailing to. They're going to put it on their Facebook page. They're going to tweet it out. Go in there. In our case, we have a graphic designer. I would just shoot her the information, or perhaps even your local printer. Most of them have a graphic designer. I just shot her my idea, said this is what's in my head, put it on paper, make it look super pretty, and then send it back to me. And she did, and that was what I used to start spreading the word. And the rest, really the marketing of it, to me, getting the people in the door, that and especially because I proposed such a big event, that is one of the heaviest objects you're lifting for this. The rest of it's simple.
Listen, I want to put a challenge out to our listener and to our Podcast Society members on the Remarkable Results Radio page in Facebook. I actually saw some posters the other day and I shared them out. And there's some really cool posters to promote their women's clinics. And so if you want, just go out there and post them for all the followers of the show. And I think sometimes you just have to see a picture, right, Jody? And you get motivated and it starts.
We do all that creative for our clients. And a lot of people don't realize that we act as the marketing to women agency for our clients. And we have amassed so many templates and examples of great flyers and titling, like Women on Wheels. I could go on and on. Driving women, keeping women on the road. We have all these graphics. And we actually provide a step-by-step plan of how to put that together, a timeline, so that they really don't have to do a lot of thinking. Just follow the plan. We'll support you. We even will create the advertising graphics to put on your social sites, the flyer, an email template for you, all those things. Because Leanne's right. it's all lost if no one shows up. And many shops that I have spoken to say, yeah, I don't do that because no one came. No one came. And I think that we, Ask Patty, are the experts at marketing and advertising. You need to be the experts in teaching the car care, the event. And so it's a great partnership.
And these 3,800 Ask Patty certified members all get access to that database?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
How
yeah.
nice. How nice. Hey, look at it's, I think, the bottom of the hour. It's time for a commercial. Today, I released an episode. It was episode 206. I was at Vision 2017. I spent 1 hour with 3 automotive techs and trainers. And if anyone, shop owner, technician, supplier, wants to get in the mind of what high-level automotive technical training is about, and this is just not all of a serious episode. It goes on for an hour. It is so well worth the listen. It's funny at times, very profound at other times. Episode 206 with Matt Fanslow, Bob Hype, and Peter Landry, and it was so much fun. It took me hours to edit it. I had to make it a PG episode, so I just want to share with you that it's not all fun at my end of town here. So, but great, and thanks for everyone who continues to support. I think we're near 1,000 Facebook watches from last week's Facebook
Wow.
Live Town Hall. So I'm so happy about that. The network is just growing like crazy. And again, Carm at remarkableresults.biz. Any idea on a show topic? We've got the next for 2-3 months planned out. But hey, if there's a great topic and it needs to go next week, I'll bump someone and we'll do one of your topics. Well, we're talking about the how, the whys, the whats, and the whens of serving the woman and creating a woman clinic, and why is it important to a shop owner, and what does it mean to your brand? Jody, thank you so much for letting us know all the resources you provide. But the woman in card care had been working on a plan, and I don't mean to jump on your thunder, but it was your good friend Amy Matnat, who sent us this draft copy, like a 70-page report, Leanne, am I right?
Yes, Carm.
Tell us about it.
Well, it's Amy, of course, was the president of the Women's Car Care Council, and she just did a fabulous job. And one of the things that she highly promoted was a focus group on women's clinics. So it was really cool, just like you can see the different dynamics of just the way the 3 of us present the clinics. This is a compilation of many different efforts. So one gal was really into mobile women's clinics, which I thought was a really unique approach. Some of them were into the event, like myself, the let's get 100 women in the door. Others talked more like what Dave and Jody are talking about. Let's have smaller, more intimate groups in this shop so we get to know those folks better. And so what it is, and this is really exciting, it's actually the how-to guide to do any of those events. So literally, your little manual is right at your fingertips. And is it time for the news now, Carm, or should we wait?
Do it.
Okay. So while it is in rough draft form and it's waiting for the board's approval, this is a fantastic opportunity for those of you that are thinking about doing a clinic for the first time. So Amy has made available the draft, the 70-page draft, to anybody that would like to review it, test drive it, and talk about it and give feedback. So if you would like a copy of that 70-page manual, you can simply email Amy Matnat, and her email is Amy, A-M-Y, at autocraftsman.com. Craftsman being C-R-A-F-T-S-M-E-N. So Amy at autocraftsman.com. This is, Carm, a fantastic opportunity, and I mean, just done for you. We all know how important systems and procedures are.
And so here's what Amy says. Oh, by the way, you can ask me, Carm at remarkableresults.biz. I have the copy. I'll
Fantastic.
send it to you also. But here's what Amy asks, since it's in draft. If you get it and you read it and it needs to be clarified, changed, added to, she wants your input. She wants to know what you think of it and if it was good enough to help you jumpstart something. Now, all the Ask Patty certified people don't even have to worry about that, right, Jody? They've got their own stuff going. But great.
Well,
Thank you to the
actually,
Women's Board for doing that.
I'm actually on that board.
I know you are.
And
I know you are.
And so, although I wasn't on that committee, I actually promote that and the twice a year National Car Care Awareness Month, which it's coming up. April and that is national, and then October.
April and October.
We provide all of that supportive materials to our clients as a choice to use in their car care clinics, and we encourage our clients to utilize all that, including the articles and videos available there.
So you mentioned earlier, Leanne, and thank you for all of that. It's just exciting. You mentioned Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, other things in the community. The Women's Clinic is no different. Just no different. It almost seems, I'm doing other community things, but to do a women's clinic, I mean, it's almost like there are some people that think it's so far out there that it's not within reach.
Right. No, it's a very simple thing to accomplish. And for anybody that's done, just as you said, the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts, I mean, it's just as simple as that. You're just elevating it a little bit to include women and education, but it is very much on the same plane.
So tell me about waffles.
Well, we started with the Women Wine and Wheels, and that was an after-work event. And then we decided it was really just too much on our staff because you're, after work, so you're cleaning the shop, you're trying to get the customers out the door. So we started doing Saturday mornings from 10 to 12, which was awesome. And it's a really nice event. So we have a local restaurant that caters it. So we serve an easy finger food type breakfast. So, little waffles that you can dip in syrup or things like that, bacon, mini muffins, quiches, things of that nature, and mimosas if they like, or champagne along with coffee. So yeah, it's a nice catered event. So when they come in, the shop is pristine and it's wonderful food.
Out of all of the events, Leanne, that you do, and Breaks for Breast is right up there as a co-founder. And, we've done a show with Leanne on the Breaks for Breast, and we're so happy to follow the success that you've had every year, how exciting that is. But out of all the events that you do you rank the car care women's clinics up in the top 5?
Oh, certainly, because it's another win-win, just like my Breaks for Breast. This car care clinic, it's a win for the women, it's a win for the shop, it's a win for the community. There's just no downside to it.
And that's where I was going, Jody. There doesn't seem to be a downside. The only downside is the upside to get started.
Yeah, I think time is really the problem with most shops. Just like what Dave said, I don't have time to do it once a month. I don't have time. And so you have to weigh the return on investment versus the time. And there are some costs, right? Unless you have sponsors. I say my clients regularly address their women customers with events throughout the year. And I'm going to give you a suggestion. You can hold car care education on your Facebook page, Facebook Live events. You can, because really they need bits of information pertaining to them over time to really help them learn everything and feel competent. Remember, they're not technicians, right? They know almost nothing. And so I think you need to get creative and invest in educating women consumers in some format throughout the year.
I love your Facebook Live idea, Jody. Facebook Live is absolutely a buzz. I think they've totally released Facebook Live on desktop for all pages, business, private groups. There's nowhere that you can't go live on Facebook. And people are paying thousands of dollars to go to seminars everywhere to learn about Facebook Live and how it interacts with your marketing efforts. And I think you almost broke the code. If you could do a monthly live 5-8 minutes on one of those subjects, Leanne, that you had. Bring one of your techs, get the right lights, get your camera going, and do an oil change, oil change minute or whatever, and have it geared to the woman. Leanne, you could be the spokesperson for it, and your service writer, that's a female. What a great idea!
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Just woo! All right, it was worth the price of admission. I'm sold. I'm sold. Well, look at we covered a lot of why, no-brainer stuff for the value of the brand to build trust, as you said earlier, Leanne. We covered what. We covered some hows. We covered when, Saturday mornings, maybe in the evening. And we have to be so conscious of people's lifestyles today. Soccer games and wow, I mean, our lives are scripted like never before. Now, I know you're all very young people, not anywhere near as old as me, but I remember having all kinds of time before I had one of those.
Yes, the good old days.
So yeah, we have to work around that. And Jody, I love your idea. If we can't bring them in, we'll go to them, and using social media. So look at we don't have to take up the full hour, because I think this was an impactful, tight, excellent discussion, and hopefully we've motivated a few people to take that first step. So finally, just let's do a little wrap up. Give me a level of encouragement to start my first women's event. Dave, we'll start with you.
Thanks, Carm. Yeah, so the how to get people there, I think maybe a different approach, because we had talked about Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, because going to a Girl Scout troop, a Boy Scout troop, and saying, hey, let's earn your car care badge is, I think, maybe the backdoor method to getting to the young kids' parents, and then growing a women's clinic from there, because now they've met you, they've seen you, and now there's an opportunity for access in that direction, rather than saying, okay, great, I'm going to do it. How do I get women into my shop? Get the kids in first, and grow it from there.
Excellent, thanks, Dave. Jody?
We tend to work on themes. So it's Women's History Month. So women are very aware of that. So if you have in honor of Women's History Month, we're going to have this women's event. In honor of moms have a mom and daughter car care clinic. I think part of capturing their imagination is being timely, and also making it the call to action interesting, that revolves around women. And you could do something for high school girls and moms around prom, because they're getting ready to be new drivers or going off to college. Themes really work.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I mean, Jody, I have to tell you, you've just knocked my socks off with a couple of just great takeaways. I love the whole theme idea. And, Leanne, when you think about themes, you think about that your job at Mighty Auto Care is marketing. You just got to say, yeah, I get it, right?
Oh, themes are everything. I totally agree with Jody. Absolutely. And I think, Carm, as the one incentive to get the car care clinic going is that we didn't really chat about is PR. I mean, we do press releases, which are very simple, and we send them everywhere. So virtually we've had radio stations out, news stations out, the local paper. I mean, it's tremendous free publicity for your repair shop. So that's another great reason to get this off the ground.
Well, thanks. I know we'll repurpose this video. We'll have it out early next week. Facebook will have all kinds of hits this weekend, and let's promote this, because I think there's a lot of people in the wings that want to make a big decision to make some important changes in their business and become more Ask Patty female friendly. Man,
Thanks, Carm.
thank you all so much for another just great episode here. Thanks.
Thank you, Carm. Have a
Thanks,
great
Carm.
day.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jody.
Bye
Thanks,
now.
Leanne. Take
See
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day, Carm.
Bye, Jody.